Welcome to the Gransberry Chronicles weekly pick'em. It's week 13. We over the stuffed turkeys and all the dressing. We had some awesome Thanksgiving Day games, and I'm ready for my boy D Jones on my right to
What it
be
do?
ready tonight. And pretty soon we'll have Coach B Pat. He coming. He coming. Y'all know he'll be here. But anyway, hey, good to see you. I mean, it seemed like it was longer than expected, even though it's week to week, but it was so
Yeah,
much football on Thursday alone. That was the first time that it felt like forever to wait for Sunday. I mean, and the funny thing is, it was football every day.
yeah,
All it was rivalry week. We had some
good
great
stuff.
upsets. I mean, it was just some good football. If you were, just a watcher as opposed to being a fan of the game, as opposed to being a fan of the team, because obviously, some teams were not happy with their outcomes. But even that, my nephew survived another week in the playoffs. So this week we will be headed to Waco for round four.
All
So
right.
for those of you who might not keep up with Texas high school football, which I can't see how you couldn't, such an amazing thing. But Texas high school football takes 5 rounds at the 6A level in order for you to reach the state games at the sixth round. So basically, you have to win 6 times to
Six more
become
games.
to
It's half a
become
season.
become a champion. And it's crazy because it's more than half a season because the season is like 10.
Yeah.
So it's really crazy how it impacts. So when you see all those pictures over the internet and all these conversations about these $1 million stadiums, now you know why. Because there's a ton of revenue in high school football. And guess what? You know what's so awesome about that in a sense? The revenue of high school football is phenomenal without the prices being crazy. It's $8 to $10 to go to a game.
Yeah.
So DeSoto is 6A Division Two. Hey
Two.
Gonzalez, good to see you. So we 6A Division Two. So we'll be playing Colleen Parker Heights at Waco's at Baylor University. We'll be at Baylor University.
It's
So
Friday, right? Friday.
that's Friday Night Lights. I mean, no other way. So we're gonna bring in Coach B Pat before D Jones spice it up. And D Jones, I want you to go ahead and give us what you got on them, get them out the ways. Look, I don't know if you guys remember you've been having turkey sandwiches and canned cranberry sauce, and you were supposed to have your DB picks. So we gonna hope to hear those too. And if you don't
Mm.
have them, you got time to get them together while D Jones do to get them out the way. D Jones.
All right. This week's get them out the way picks. We all picked Buffalo over New England, Pittsburgh over Atlanta, Green Bay to beat Chicago, Minnesota to beat the Jets, Detroit to beat Jacksonville. Gransberry went solo with Washington over the Giants. I picked the Giants. We got Baltimore over Denver, Seattle over the Rams, and we got Kansas City to beat Cincinnati, and the Chargers to beat Vegas, and then finally Tampa to beat New Orleans. That's how I get them out the way picks this week. You ready for the real deal? What we got?
It's the real deal, Holyfield. What up, Coach Pat?
What's up?
What's up? You
What's up?
wait, you ready over there?
Oh yeah, I'm cool.
We cool.
You
We
know,
cool.
look,
We can see you this time. We can see you
we
this
can
week.
see
You
you
ain't
turn up the
entangled.
light.
Sure.
The lights are bright.
I'm in a warm spot. Finally,
You in a warm state for the moment.
warm state. I'm done traveling for 2022.
Oh,
Hopefully.
speak for yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just starting. It's the end of the year, and I'm just starting.
Look, D Jones, and I'm actually a little jealous because you gonna get more playing time than me in the next 30 days, but I'm here
Yeah.
for it. Look, guys, I done had a rough couple of days. Starting with um so Derek got me hip to Yellowstone
I've been
because I
telling you.
really don't watch too much on TV at all, right? Or the apps. I may watch a movie or two or something like that, but I don't really get too into anything on television. And the funny thing is, it was like he mentioned Yellowstone. Actually, I had stopped by his house. That's how this started. I stopped by his house, and his family literally put me on the clock because they were getting ready to watch the season premiere. And his oldest daughter was pretty much like, yeah, 7 minutes. Like, I'm not taking no more. Like, y'all better be ready. And that was like my cue to go home because it wasn't like I could just watch this show.
Well, you could stay. You just wouldn't have known what
I
was
wouldn't
going
have
on.
known a thing that was going on. So
Yeah.
move forward to Monday, and I started to watch a few episodes. And I'm one of those people. If I get into high anticipation, I call somebody who's already watched it. I want the answers. That may be because of profession. What most people don't think about is like you ask questions as a lawyer, before trial, and then by the time you get to trial, you're supposed to know the answers to the questions already. Even though you're gonna let it go through, you still supposed to already know the answer. So for me, I wanted to know the answer and then still go back and watch it. So yesterday I decided I'm gonna take my braids out, hence the hat. But anyway, I'm trying to go through this braid process. It's a normal thing. You take them out to get them redone. I mean, that's life, right?
Yeah.
Y'all, it's been 2 days trying to get all these braids out of my hair. I finally did it because I was so addicted to Yellowstone. I was trying to watch Yellowstone. I couldn't focus on doing braids because I was obsessed with the show. I haven't been that obsessed in like a really long time.
It's good
Really?
stuff.
Like,
Really?
like I couldn't let it go. Like I think did I call you like 10, 9? I don't even know what time it was, but it wasn't too late out the window. But
No, it wasn't. It definitely wasn't 10. It probably was about close to 9. It was
okay,
probably close
close
to
to
9.
9. Because I needed an update for something I missed, and I didn't have time to go back and watch the full episode again because I wanted to keep going forward, but I knew something had happened. So that's how addicted I was. So this morning I was up at 2 because I really needed to get all the braids out. I couldn't work with half braids, half no braids because of the way I took them out. I actually took them out left to right, not top to bottom. So there was no possible way
Oh, yeah.
that I just had to finish. And today I had like a perfect bun, but today I mean, right now at this exact moment, I got stragglers, whatever. I don't have any braids left, but this is where I'm at. My whole point is I don't even care. I risked it all for Yellowstone. And so
Risked it all.
I risked it all.
Risked
I
it
risked it all
all.
for Yellowstone. And to
Yeah.
top it off,
I haven't watched it yet. I haven't watched one episode. It looks like I'm
well,
going to.
look, without disclosing too much, okay, the Peacock account is not my account. And I got so
What? You?
that's not against the rules.
No,
So,
I didn't say that.
oh, okay. But anyway, let me
did
go
that
where
for a
I'm going
reason.
with this. So I was so caught up and I was so sick of commercials. I was getting ready to upgrade the account. And then I realized, wait a minute, I can't upgrade this to plus because this is not my account. Like,
I don't do commercials on Peacock.
no. You would do commercials for Yellowstone because the
I'm
show
telling
is so engaging. And
You need
then
a break
what's so
sometime.
awesome, the commercial being a
Oh,
little
okay,
circle,
okay.
and it tell you how much time before you're gonna get that episode back. So
Yeah.
that's how much
It give you a good little break. It give you a good little break and come on
give
back.
you a good little break. But I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest. So I mentioned it today on social media, and people started responding and telling me about 1883 and that I shouldn't try to watch 1883 till I finish season 3. So I'm probably gonna be up all night so I can finish season 3. And then I may have to get my own account because I got to get rid of these commercials. I got to get to 1883. I feel like I need to get this
No.
out the way before the weekend because I can't focus. Okay,
Well, just
so
get through. If you can get through season 4, it's on season 5 right now. It's like 3 episodes in on season 5.
yeah.
So you be all right.
So
You almost there.
yeah. So just know I put a lot of time in the last couple of days into Yellowstone, and I don't even know how I'm functioning. I only had like one basic cup of coffee today. I didn't even do like my normal coffee. So I don't know what I'm gonna do because I have to stay up and I have
You
to
Watch
gonna
get
it.
it
crash.
in.
You gonna
All
crash.
right. um Well, thanks, Gonzalez, because actually you were one of the people that put me on to 1883. But like I said, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I literally
Yeah,
almost
somebody told me to watch 1883 before I started Yellowstone, and I couldn't wait to watch it, so I just went ahead and jumped in. So I still haven't watched 1883, so I'm gonna go back and check that. But somebody told me to watch it before I even started it, but it don't really matter. You're gonna
okay.
catch it either way.
So we're gonna get to why we here tonight. I just had to share that. Like I'm totally fascinated with it right now. I'm also want to give a quick shout out to the USA World Cup team. We advanced to the round of 16. That was an awesome game, and I say that it was like so intense through the TV. I really, was vested. Like I was vested into the last 9 minutes of time, and it was like I didn't know if I was going to be able to. The stoppage time was like exhausting. It was more exhausting than the 90 minutes. And if you're not into soccer, it's 90 minutes, but because of stoppage and substitutions and different issues, they add on that time. So you will play full 90 minutes. So you don't really know the time and when the game is up until that referee that's responsible for keeping time calls time. You can estimate, give or take, the TV is usually off 30 to 45 seconds, but you actually don't know how much uh stoppage time until the end. It's like you just anticipating, like you just waiting. It's like at 88, 89 minutes, then 90, then boom, they add this suffrage number. I mean, stoppage number. It felt like a
Suff-
suffrage.
Hold on, you said it. You
Suffrage.
said it right the first.
You said it
It
right.
felt like a
First of all,
suffrage. It did.
that
I was like, I felt like we were
that was
being
more. That
like,
was
oh
more
my
than
God.
9 minutes. That was at least 10, 11 minutes. That was
It
It
not
it
was
was
it
nine
about
was
minutes.
10.
awful. Everybody was
Yeah.
out of subs. I mean, it was just anyway, we won. So look, today, since we're gonna talk about our top three DB picks, we're only gonna hit a few games. And so if you heard to get them out the way, as you heard more than normal. And I think it's best we get the games that nobody's really worried about who will win out the way, but keeping with tradition. It's not that we anticipate Dallas having any trouble this week over Indy. Derek and I were very confident in our position that we will not pick the Colts. Um, we just will not. And so, with that in mind, we went with against the Colts last week, and we were successful in that. It kind of was stalling out at the end, a little bit, but
Second half was different. Second half was a little
right.
different, but
I think the best part is about how, boy, those tweets, man, they will age and then they will hurt you. You really have to be careful with Twitter. For Instagram, it's a little harder, right? But you can search through older tweets a little faster. And Coach Saturday had a comment a few years back talking about tomorrow we will talk about um the proper use of, I think, clock management.
Right.
And
He sure did.
and then he steps his foot right in that
hey,
at the press conference. And it's like, oh, really? You know, and in that moment, I thought about players and how they feel about the media when they sit up on these platforms and hand down all these what you should have done, which is, Derek, that's one of my things about the show. I don't want a show where I'm trying to tell you how to play football. It's still an opinions, and I get, obviously I didn't play football, but I can observe, but I don't think you really should get to the point of trying to be so specific. Like I think you should tell how it makes you felt or what you wish they would have done, but not what you think, tell them what to do. And so I
yeah.
think sometimes people sit on their platforms and try to tell people what to do, specifically players. And I'm like, that's a little overreach. And now his own words are eating him alive.
Or
So
act like they know who was in the wrong when you don't know what people was assignment was or what they who's doing what, and it's just it's too much
yeah, I
sometimes.
mean, a good friend of mine, Indy Kalu, who has a popular show here in Houston on 790. One of the things in the trenches, one of the things he would always talk about is, when one side of the ball is playing really bad, how do you keep yourself from getting in the press conferences and blaming it on them and attacking. And he was like, because the reality is you had a job. And so you go to work and you do your job. You can't spend too much time trying to tell somebody else how to do their job. That means you're taking away from your role. Even if you did yours perfectly, right? You need to
Right.
get back in the groove and focus again. So it's unnecessary for you to try to comment on somebody else's, and you're never going to have perfect weeks consistently, right?
Yeah.
Consecutive forever. You're going to mess up at some point. You're going to have a bad game.
Yeah.
So theirs was today. So that's why the best goal is you got to stay out of it. And with that, we mentioned we always talk Dallas and the Texans. I didn't really give you guys a chance to say, but I assume we all picking Dallas. There's not really much to talk
Well,
about.
as coach, you already know where I stand with
Yeah,
coach.
coach.
So
I'm with that. I'm going Dallas.
Okay, so we all with Dallas, and so
Why
that's
would I
pretty
go
much.
Colts?
They was rolling on Thanksgiving Day. I'm glad that got them a Turkey Day win. That's a good way to go right into this next week. And then, of course, we have to talk about the Texans. Deshaun returns to Houston in a different team's uniform. Uh, just at about 2 seasons of no football, and I'm gonna be there. I will be there. It's really interesting because I feel like we're at a weird spot, meaning I don't really have an opinion of what I think the fan base will do because the team is playing at such a low level right now that seeing him could spark what it does for me, the good times, and then you may be angry. So even if you were
it's gonna
not
be a mix.
interested, right? I'm sorry.
I say it's gonna be a mix, and
Yeah, I mean, even if you
it's
weren't
gonna be some
interested
that's
in
gonna
getting
be
into the
having
middle,
signs or doing whatever just out of the pure shock or trying to be seen on TV or trying to get on a whatever. You know,
You're
it
gonna
is what
you're
it
gonna
is.
you're gonna have the Sean fans per se there. Then
Mm.
you're gonna have the Texans fans per se. Then you're gonna have those that are just strictly intrigued about what's gonna happen. With Deshaun's gonna go out there, get 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, or the Texans stop him or can't stop the run or whatever the case may be. So I mean, it's like he hasn't played 2 years of football, you know, right at 2 years,
well,
almost two
most of
years.
this team wasn't even here.
Right. And
So
Yeah, that's a
that's the
brand new
other
team. I think it's like
that's the
five
other
players.
that's the other piece to it.
Yeah,
You got Titus Howard, Tunsil. Those are on the other side of the ball, not defensive side.
the
So
players ain't gonna matter.
yeah, so it's not,
Yeah,
but I feel like it's gonna be a lot of cheering because it'd be newfound Browns fans there, and then there's gonna be some boos definitely because of the way the whole situation came out on. But I mean, it's gonna be
I still
crazy
picked the
either way.
Browns.
I'm going Browns on that one. I mean, even if Brissett was the
I
quarterback, I would
was,
have picked the
I was about to
Browns.
say,
I
I
mean,
was about
I'm
to say
just
if
saying.
Brissett was still playing, I
I,
was picking the
I mean,
Browns.
I
So
mean, the fact that they beat Tampa Bay last week gives them a momentum boost somewhat to be like, hey, we got a starting quarterback coming back. But this is going to be feel good medicine, whether it's Brissett, Case Keenum, whoever the quarterback was going to be for Cleveland.
I don't even think it's got to be feel good. I don't think Cleveland
it
was
ain't gonna be
that
no
bad
feel
of a
good.
team. Like for the
I don't
most
think so.
part,
No, I'm saying I don't think they're that bad of a team either. They lost a lot of close games too.
That defense
competitive
has been their
games.
problem. Yeah,
It
that
can
Yeah.
defense has been their problem. Their offense has
correct.
been one of the top performing offenses mainly because of their running game. Um, but yeah, what's up, bro? I see you. Yeah, I agree with him. It's gonna be a massacre. It's gonna
I
be
think so
crazy.
too.
Four gonna throw for four, run for one. So well, I think he's gonna be rusty. I'm not ready to see it up close and personal. So have fun while you're there. I will
I'm still
watch
mad
it.
about that. I still have an
Uh,
extra ticket that I need
I'm
to
not
deal
ready.
with. Well,
I'm
I
not
know
ready.
where it's going, but I'm just saying I forgot about it. I
Yeah, I
forgot.
ain't ready. I ain't ready.
Yeah,
I ain't ready.
I'm going simple fact because I brought the ticket like way at the beginning of the season when we went down the line, and I'm like, Derek, this is probably gonna be the last home game of the year that I'm gonna
It's
go
not a
to.
probably for me. It's my
Yeah,
last home
it's
game.
gonna be not no problem. It's gonna be the last home game for me. So, but what I'm saying is, if I hadn't brought the ticket, I wouldn't be going either. But I had the ticket like way before, when we was going down the line before
I
they was
bought
doing
it. I
this.
thought I was gonna eventually convince my boy to go, but
Nah.
he
Nah.
said no.
When the schedule came out, I knew whatever games I was going to, this wasn't gonna be one. So it's
And he
just
told me that, and I still bought both of them.
yeah,
And
I'm
you
not
thought,
ready,
yeah,
man.
you thought you was going, yeah, yeah.
I'm
So,
I'm
but
not ready to see my boy in a different uniform. Even though I got love for Cleveland, my brother-in-law for Cleveland. The orange and brown looks dope. Um, I'm just still I'm over the situation of him not being here, but I still don't want to see that just yet. So yeah, yeah. Anyway,
My
we can
feelings
move
still
on.
hurt.
start the off season for the Texans.
And I
Okay.
did see that about the therapist being in a suite. I don't know what that is, but we don't need to get
Yeah,
that in a
no, that's
little.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid. But
I just feel like I thought the goal was for everybody to move
to
forward,
move on,
right? And so
let's
now
move
it's not
forward.
feeling that way. And now it's being a little over the top, right? Like, initially we know, right? Every time he didn't get a reaction, he throw a press conference to try to get a reaction, to get some feedback. Um, but now I'm like, I thought we were respecting privacy of victims. Whatever we're doing here, Sunday's a football game. And so that's all
And
I'm
they're
gonna
gonna be
think
in a
about.
suite. What how you protest in the suite? Or how you make a
I
statement
don't
in the
think the
suite?
goal was to protest. I think it was for
Well, I
them to
mean, they
face
was trying to
him.
make a statement. According to him, it was to
I
make a
thought
statement.
it was for them to be able to face him in their own way.
That
He
wasn't what
made
he
the
said.
statement. He made the
Yeah, that
statement.
ain't what he said. I'm going by what he put out there. But yeah,
Okay.
let's not get that. We
I
gotta
don't.
get through
I
some of
mean,
this stuff.
it's a distraction, and we getting distracted. So I'm gonna move
Yeah, let's
on
go.
because we
Let's
all
go.
picking the Browns, but we got to acknowledge it, right? Because everybody's asking,
Yeah, for
what
sure, for sure.
is that supposed to be the word? So I don't want to downplay that. That's what's being said and act like we can't mention it, but it definitely doesn't require an in-depth conversation. I'm more moving forward with tomorrow's game, Buffalo versus New England. This is another dirty dog matchup that's going to be pretty exciting because as we know, Coach Pat let us know last week about his thoughts about the Patriots.
Almost for horseshoes, and almost happy.
Yeah, but
For
we ain't gonna talk
Listen,
about horseshoes. We watch football games,
right,
and and in
and almost
football
happy.
games they lost.
they lost.
But and
Oh,
more
that
specifically,
was a touchdown. I don't care what anybody say. That was
look,
a
I don't. I
touchdown.
mean, you
It
know
was a
what? Call
touchdown.
What's the
Des
score?
Bryant. Call Des
What's the score?
Bryant. Call
What's the
Des
score?
Bryant.
What's the score at the end? It don't matter about where they want to play. What was the
I
score
mean,
at the
we
end?
don't. At the end of the day, I think what
It's a
was still
touchdown.
funny for me is that you still thought that Minnesota would be in with their head
No,
between
I
their legs.
mean, no,
That
I
was exactly
was
what you said.
no.
Come on.
Okay,
Do
This
you
week's
want me to
game.
run
We
the
got a
tape?
lot.
okay,
We got a lot to
okay,
get to. We got a lot to get to.
okay. Go ahead.
This week's game.
Go ahead.
This
No.
week's game.
Look.
Go. Go.
So for
Go.
me, I'm still picking Buffalo. It's a close game. I think Buffalo's gotten back in a little bit of a rhythm. They feeling that this is the time they need to be clicking. They kind of seeing, they're gonna have to hold it together defensively without Vaughn there. But good news is he didn't have a season-ending injury. But they definitely got to find a way to see if they can get through December without him. I think that would be the goal, to really get him back right, is to try to hold him out to at least the beginning of the year. So hopefully that works for them. I just think that even with Belichick figuring out how to slow their game, they have enough. And interestingly enough, throwing this tidbit, which doesn't affect this week's game, which was on my mind.
We
OBJ
lost it.
is going to take his visit there in the next couple of days. He's going there to Giants and Dallas. And I think he's just doing Giants out of original loyalty. because that's the last place he was signed, unless they're gonna just throw money at him. So I don't see how that really was for them. And I agree with you, Harold. I mean, like Vaughn made a big difference, and you saw the kind of drop off a little bit with him being out. And Houston fans specifically, who were fans of football, who were trying to watch the game, we are still personally upset about the media break in. I understand weather is important and tornadoes, but I'm like,
Man,
I was tripping.
I was,
I was like, wait a minute, this is not like Oklahoma where we like need to take cover into our bunker, out in front of our trailer.
I thought it was just
right.
me.
I was like, so can you hurry up? And then it was like he wasn't prepared. He was just like dragging. And I'm like, can you go to small screen at least? Like put you in the corner, the game back up. So
I was like, you can keep him on the audio. Just give me the game. Just give me a visual of the game. I'm like, what are you doing?
It's interesting that I had the whole perspective of the whole game, but then I started getting all this text and stuff about, man, what happened to the end of the game? I was like, what? It was a kick and a field goal kick, and everybody. And then I look on the Channel 11 Twitter site. We're sorry.
No, you're not sorry. Because
I know you're not right. That's
you was trying to steal the moment. It's
right,
like the first 30 seconds to a minute, I got it, right? But you knew that game, like somebody should have been in the ear. Like you knew that. And when he started rambling, that's what made it worse. Because he's like, we're going to stay here and we're going to keep you updated. We're just going to stay here and keep you focused. And I'm like, dude, focused on what? Like, we're not running out the bunker.
We're winning this overtime. That's what I want to know.
And then the next thing you know, Buffalo won. It was just like, man, we didn't get
I have no clue what happened.
Highlight. Like,
but the funny part about that is on Twitter, everybody was going back to like something important, and they will put in the newscast. So, like for example, Alvarez's home run, he goes up, his newscast was on there.
Oh, I need to go check that out.
Dude, we would have burned the city down.
I busted out laughing.
We would have tore the city up.
I was like, oh man.
That's a good point, Brandon. They would have never done that in the middle of the Astros playing the World Series. They would have never done that.
I was like, it just showed like all these different sports things that were going on. They showed like one of Earl Campbell's runs, getting ready to score a touchdown, and then you do it there. So I got to go back and look for it. But it was hilarious. But the fact, I feel sympathetic because I probably would have been highly upset too. But we had a room full of people, family, and I was just watching the game. Then I just happened to look up. I was like, wow, they did that. That's crazy.
It was the worst, but it's over.
Tornado. All right, I got Buffalo. You can go and pick B.
Coach.
I'm going Buffalo.
What?
I'm going Buffalo. No, because you hit. I don't even have to explain it. You hit all the points when you said they've got to start hitting the roll, and here it is. They see the light at the end of the tunnel. Last 6 games, let's at least go 5-1 and go on about our business.
All right, this is a matchup I'm actually kind of looking forward to, which is Tennessee versus Philly. Last week Hurts had an amazing game. He pretty much rushed for about the same amount that he passed for, and people were kind of picking on that because he didn't pass for over 200 yards, blah blah blah. And it was more so in the conversation of the MVP race, not in the conversation of his game. But I think it's amazing to be able to get 150. On both sides of offense with the ball as your quarterback.
100 and a half.
No. He had 100 in the first quarter.
Yeah,
he had 100 in the first quarter. So the team itself had over 300, but he had 100 in the first quarter. Like
I knew my pack was
trying to get 100 a game.
Yeah.
Needless to say, it's going to be interesting because one thing I think there are 2 awesome factors to Hurts with his legs. He is a very different guy than looking at Lamar with his legs, right? Because
Mhm.
Hurts is built a little different, so he's a little stronger. He's really hard to take down. If you noticed later in the game when he was rushing, they started trying to hit him versus tackle him because tackling him, they weren't bringing him down. They couldn't catch him. So then
Mm.
they started doing like the dive hits. And if you notice, he took a lot of hits in his thigh muscle area and stuff like that because that was pretty much the only way they were going to get him down. And then he had some beautiful throws that were just awesome. And I kind of liked, I don't like comparisons in general, but I kind of like the whole, he did have that magic factor that they claim, that was unique to Mahomes. It was prevalent with him as well. Like he was quick on his feet. Even you knew the quarterback draw was coming and you couldn't stop it. So,
Mhm.
and Tennessee has that same power at running back. So it'll be a great game because their running back was still killing it. It wasn't even about Hurts. Like I
Oh,
said,
for
they had
sure.
over 300 yards rushing. Coach, if you got a second, check and let me know where Tennessee ranks in run defense because I want to see if they even in a position to slow that down because that was just on film looking like, you know,
Well, remember they run four strong, so they're gonna run Hurts at the quarterback. They got a 14 receiver they run. They got Miles Sanders that they run, and they got Scott that they run. So they gonna run the ball. Now here's
Um,
here's here's a game I wish Dre was here with us this week because these his two teams, right?
yeah.
Um,
I wonder how he
so
feeling about that.
yeah, running how he feeling right there. But but Philly run defense has been kind of suspect, and you got King Henry coming in. Um, this one should be a really, really, really good game. They
They
third, you
ranked
got a
third.
third.
it's San Francisco, Baltimore, Tennessee, and Philly is down number 18. They give up 120 a game. Tennessee gives up 84.5 per game. So in the last three games, Philly's been giving up 119 a game. So as far as on the rushing yards, so I mean it's gonna
The
be
last guy they signed, he's not on the active roster yet, though, right? When they picked him up.
Dominic Sue and what you
Who's
call it,
No, not
they
Sue. They signed
the other
somebody
guy.
else too.
They signed the other guy before Sue, and he played last game, but
Okay.
I don't. But he was on the
but
active
Sue hadn't
roster
played
last
yet
game.
though.
Sue
Yeah,
hasn't
Sue
played.
hasn't played.
Sue hasn't played. That's when we talked about in the group chat, um, Phillies loading up, and you noticed they were loading up D tackles, loading up one D tackle after another because they knew it was up the middle. Then on top of that, you have Fletcher Cox, and you got those up the playing up the middle. So
Damon
Sue,
said Sue played.
if he played, he
I
played last week, but I don't
I
think he
didn't
was on
I
the
see
didn't I
him,
active.
didn't
Damon.
I didn't see him. I
I
didn't think
don't
he
think he
played.
was on the
He could
active.
have.
I don't
Yeah, I
think he
didn't
was
think
on
he.
What
that.
he played
The
one
other,
snap, two snaps? Because I don't remember him playing.
no, I don't think he was even on the active roster, but I don't
Because it's
know.
the
I may
other
be wrong.
guy. I think he came. Did he come from the Raiders
Uh,
or
yeah, I
Chargers?
I don't
think
One of
know.
so.
them.
It was one
I
of
don't
them.
know.
Yeah. So let me see if Sue
Okay,
played
but yeah,
last week.
I've been. Oh, you know what, Damon, you right because they talked to Sue about why did he come back, and he said he wanted a chance to win another ring so that each of his boys, his twin boys, would have one. You exactly right. He did not play much, but when he finally went in, they ran that little piece on him saying they had had a discussion with him. You are absolutely right. Thank you
Fair
for
enough.
that
Staying
correction.
corrected. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah,
for that.
Yeah,
yeah.
I didn't.
But
I
I think
missed
he
it.
didn't get enough meaningful
He
reps.
didn't play. He didn't
Okay.
play against. He didn't play against Green Bay, but he played against Indy.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they had the whole
Okay.
conversation, and then they because they
Yeah,
went into a scene where he was playing with his sons at the beach, and he said
yeah,
he was chilling
yeah.
in Miami when
That's
he
right.
got the call to come back. So I think you give or take that 3 weeks. So it might not be ready full force this week, but he'll definitely be more aggressive uh, later. Okay,
Cool.
thanks, Waylon. Same on that. So yeah, we pretty much caught up on that, and
Yeah,
then
that's
Who
what
you
it
picked
was.
though? I ain't hear no pick. I heard analysis. I ain't hear no pick. I'm just
uh,
saying.
I'm still gonna roll with Philly. I'm still gonna roll, even with the run defense. They run defense been an issue all season. That's why they number 18. Um, that it just hurt them the most against the Commanders. And I do think that, you know, Tennessee is in a position to do the same. But I also think each week Sue is going to improve, get a few more sacks in there. At the quarterback, I think that Eagles defense will have a better chance at handling Tennessee's play action versus handling Henry. That's my take.
My pick is based on what D Gentry just said. AJ Brown gonna be playing against his former team. They're gonna be the secondary in Tennessee, and the receivers in Philly is gonna be the difference makers in this game. So I'm going Philly as well.
And remember, they did lose their corner in Philly.
I was just getting ready to say that the one that
because of his lacerated kidney.
Yeah,
but I still think they got enough because the rookie came in.
Yeah, they all right.
He was
they
ready.
all right.
He was ready.
They don't have to worry about they receivers.
Look,
they'll be all right.
Because I can't even tell you who they are.
The thing I liked about it was when Slay said he was kind of upset that he didn't get an interception last week to Aaron Rodgers for his Mount Rushmore of interceptions. So I think Slay is going to be trying to look for one.
They weren't throwing them.
I know.
They weren't throwing to that side
at all. So,
what Mount Rushmore ain't available this week because neither one of the Tennessee quarterbacks is even on a hill.
No. Even on the hills. I'm going with Philly. I'm going with Philly as well. For the simple fact that I think Philly is a little bit better as of an overall team than Tennessee. I think, Hurts doing a short passing game might offset some of the run defense of Tennessee. So I just think they're going to do that with, Brown. It's going to be interesting how Vrabel and them try to double Brown and then come back and see if they go the opposite way. And Philly, they have moving parts on their offense. So I'm going with Philly.
It's funny you say that. I'm going to move on to the next game. All I think about is if you doubling Brown, right? So you got a corner and safety on him. So you're not really leaving too much for blitzing if you're doing that, right? So that's what you're not running that if you're going to double him. And
you got speed on that other side too.
And I was about to say he's quick and his running backs are quick. So if you don't hit that fast, they're gonna hit that hole. So it's going to be interesting to see if that's going to require an adjustment. I would think that would be a decent game plan, right? If we was thinking like a Belichick style, right? Let's take AJ out the game, and force you to throw somewhere else or force you just in a hole. But when you got speed along with your running backs, it's one of them gonna win.
They got to scheme it. They'll scheme it.
Yeah,
they'll scheme it. We'll see what they do with it.
Yeah, I think it's a great game. But, moving on to what I still think would be a game of the week. I don't even know how I got here with San Francisco and the Dolphins. I just don't even know I can't even say his name under center. So San Francisco and the Dolphins. Look, shout out to D'Amico. He is killing
doing his thing
as defensive coordinator. When I tell you the 49ers defense is lights out. 4 games in a row, they haven't allowed anybody to score in the second half. So, you know what? If you don't get too far behind in the first half, you win. You win every game.
They got dogs on every level too, though. So they got talent over
there. They got linebacker and they got DB.
They got the second coming of Palomalu with the old buddy.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah,
look,
man.
And at first when I started hearing his name, I was like, wait a minute. I feel like I'm having deja vu. I was like, oh, he killing it. I'm thinking he's gone. He's like balling.
He's nice with it.
But with that, it's hard.
And Miami is something different with Tua. We got to go and say that.
I know.
They something different with Tua with these receivers, man. They got speed everywhere. They got speed.
They got speed at the tight end
everywhere. The
I
running
mean,
back
I mean,
position, the
so
tight
but
ends, the receivers.
so
I think I'm gonna go with Gonzalez though, and go with the Dolphins. I don't know about Marino versus Montana yet. That's a good one.
he
That's a
thought he
good
should have
one.
slow.
I
That's a
like it.
good
I
one. This our
like it.
new age Marino versus Montana. Okay, okay, I can see
No,
that.
no.
Look,
Coach,
hey,
they got the right
Hey,
jerseys on.
your boy Jimmy. Look at you got your boy Jimmy G.
who boy?
Your boy, yours.
Mm,
And we have Tua. I saw a clip that really made me like McDonald, the coach for Miami, with him and Tua's relationship. It's right on par where they actually get along. Um,
okay,
and
I
it
saw the
made me
clip.
it made me like, but it made me like, the fact that he's actually trying to engage to knowing that, hey, you got speed guys and go short passes, because against the Texans all they did was kill them on short passes the whole time. So I think they're going to try that same game plan to offset the rushing defense of San Francisco. But um, I'm gonna go with San Francisco on this one.
Yeah, I forgot San Fran is at home, but just to give Gonzalez credit, he said he wasn't really saying Marino versus
Yeah,
Montana.
Oh yeah,
He
we
was
knew
just
that.
saying
yeah,
more
we
so
know,
the
we know
team.
We
that.
He's
knew
like,
that.
let's make it clear, the
Oh,
team,
No,
the team.
we
Gonzalez.
definitely knew
Gonzalez
that.
is one of our smartest supporters. He ain't gonna call Jimmy G Montana. Trust me,
Not at all.
he ain't gonna
No,
call.
he won't. Look,
He ain't gonna
He know
call
better
him.
than that.
he cheered for both Texas teams, and he still ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, no, no,
Yeah,
no.
So,
yeah.
So I'm gonna go with, like I said, I'm gonna go with San Francisco at home. It's gonna be close, but it should be a fun one.
This should be a good game. I'm going San Francisco at home as well, mainly because some of the things we've already talked about. They're to me are the better complete team with the defense. Miami is definitely scary with all that speed, but I think I'm going to trust D'Amico and those boys to be schemed up for Miami's offense, and it should be a really good one to watch. But I'm going San Fran.
yeah, for the moment, I'm gonna still keep my odd man pick. I'm just not really sure.
All right,
Uh,
hold that thing. Hold it.
yeah, I'm not really sure what you put on Hill. I just don't know
Stand
what
on it.
you. I just don't
You
know
don't
what you
put
put
nothing.
on him.
You don't put nothing on Hill. You just try to get in his way and trip him.
Let's not
He
say
said
that.
true.
Let's not say that.
I ain't say
Um,
hurt him. I say try to get in his way and trip him. Just get him down, or get to the
so
quarterback so he can't get him the ball. That's what you do.
with our time left, I'm gonna go ahead and run my picks down, and I'm for my DBs, and I'm gonna say this because the rule was active, and since
And
uh
DBs do include safety
yes, and since Sauce went out, um
this year. Don't do that active this week. We're not talking about this week.
no,
This
he's gonna be
year.
out indefinitely for a while.
Yeah,
So
but he's still up and played up until last week. Come on, man.
okay, well, I had him on my
You can
list.
still
That's what
okay.
okay.
Go on,
So
put him
that
on
was
your
my
list.
point.
He on your list.
Okay, well, I had Sauce, Slay, um,
One more.
my one more was Peterson.
Oh,
It was Peterson.
She went old school.
Patty
Yeah.
B.
And
The
Patty
old
B.
school
and
PP.
and remember when we talked receivers, I talked about how these receivers changing teams, and
Yeah,
I felt like, he changed teams, and
he ain't
he-
changed this year. He changed a
look,
couple years ago, but okay, I'm with
well,
it. I'm with it.
but I
I'm with it.
mean,
I'm with it.
it's
He was
always
on my
good.
short list.
That's even better though, that you find your way on a new team, and
Yeah,
collectively they've helped. I mean, other than that one bad game when they got whooped like crazy, but
Cowboy game. Yeah.
right. But my honorable mention was actually Bell. He
Oh shit! Did we lose a loser?
Yeah.
She dropped out.
Um.
You go ahead and go.
She said, "Bill, I am going to go with. I like Sauce in no particular order. You got Sauce. I also liked Diggs of the Cowboys.
These your top three this
Top
season.
three.
Okay, I'm just wondering.
No, let me
Sauce,
think. I'm just
Diggs. You know, you supposed to know this already. Come on, man. You can't think doing the show. Let's go.
I'm
I'm
just
gonna hold you to the fire.
either Super Sertan or Buddha.
Ain't no or. It's three. Top three.
I'm gonna go with Patrick
Top three
Sertan.
this season.
I'm gonna go with Patrick the
So
Denver
you
Broncos.
so you say Sertan, Sauce, and who you said Diggs
Yeah,
from the Cowboys Diggs. Okay.
yeah.
I mean, you want to speak on it? You good?
Let me speak. No, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, we can have a conversation.
You just well,
Yeah.
here's my three. My three in no particular order. I didn't want to rank these because I feel like in some of these I made I ain't gonna call it an emotional pick, but I went with what I knew. This one was gonna be hard for me. I tried to research as much as I could. I went big play Slay. Of course, to me, Mika Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
And then I battled with my third one between, I thought about Sauce, I thought about Pat P, but I went with Patrick Surtain as well. So
Okay.
those were my three, my top three. Let's see if my girl coming back in.
Which three you had? Which three you had? You had
I had Big Play Slay,
Slay.
Minka Fitzpatrick, and Patrick Surtain were my top three.
Yes, Slay. I like Slay. Slay.
Yeah,
I like Slay a lot.
I battled. I wanted because I kind of teased it last week that I might have a rookie on there with Sauce. I like what I'm seeing from Sauce, and to I like what I see from the kid in Houston who hasn't given up a touchdown all year.
Yeah.
But I'm going with those guys because to me they've been the most consistent throughout the season that you can count on. So those my three.
Gentry said he got the same three as you, Derek.
Yeah, I heard him. I see him.
And so Gonzalez got Garner. He got Sauce basically. I had a feeling he was gonna have Diggs in there. And I'm gonna tell you,
Coach, did you hear coaches?
Diggs too. I had Diggs too.
Okay.
He
No, I
said he said Diggs, Sauce, and Patrick Surtain.
Okay. Yeah, well, like I said, I picked my three.
It's kind of hard because there's some defenses where some offenses that are basically playing half the field on a lot of the DBs that are playing this year. I mean, Arizona with Buddha with Baker out there playing, but part of that, I think he can be better if Arizona wasn't trying to play fast-paced offense, going through and out a lot more than they normally were last year, per se. But I like the way Surtain is playing. Denver's defense hasn't been a problem.
They haven't been a problem.
It hasn't been a problem at all this year. It's the poor offensive play calling or offensive play period, per se. And I went with Diggs because he draws the biggest matchup. They're not scared, but
the only thing the only thing I say about Diggs is, to me, Diggs is not a good cover guy. You know what I mean? He doesn't. I mean, he's serviceable. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's not one of the top corners.
Do you think he's playing out of position as a corner?
I mean, that's the position he played. I can't say he out of position. That's the position.
Well, wait a minute. Are you going with out of position based on what though? Because it's been a while.
You think he should be a safety?
No. That's what I'm saying. I just thought he could. I mean, I'm saying he could possibly be a better safety,
impactful,
but we don't know that. That's the same thing we were saying about Kareem Jackson here for years. Hey, put him back at safety or put him at corner. But like D. Jones said, that's the position he plays, and that's what we can basically just judge on. I just threw that question out as a hypothetical for him.
Let me ask you this: if he was playing safety, would you put him in? Would you think he would be one of the better safeties in this league?
There's so many of them. No.
So there you go.
So that's the end of that.
Yeah, there's so many of them. I mean, you hit one on the head, Fitzpatrick, right off the top of the head, and then Baker, and then you have so many safeties. If Adams was healthy, he may have been in this conversation. And
Definitely.
Adams gets hurt. He gets hurt every year. That's because he plays 8 in the box a lot. So
He played linebacker safety. Strong safety.
he's
Yeah, he's
right.
strong
He's a
safety.
strong, super strong safety. And
Yeah.
so, but this conversation is a lot harder as far as the landscape of DBs that we're having that we've been talking about than the wide receivers we had last week.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's a lot harder too, because it also is, what is your perception of how you want to rank your DB? Is it interceptions? Is it stopping
Coverage.
touchdowns?
Yeah.
Is it fumbles? Is it tackles? Is it
Right.
sacks? And obviously, if it's sacks, you throw out all of your corners, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's not their focal point. So now, and you asked Derek, like, is it
Hmm.
safeties included? And the reason why it needed to be included, because some of the better DBs right now consistently are the safeties.
Or the safeties. Agreed.
So
I agree.
so in that, and some of them, like I don't disagree with, Gonzalez had Joyner in there. Your ranking of wins doesn't necessarily reflect who was actually playing better defense, right?
Right.
Yeah, right.
Because you
Well, that's the
you
same with Sertan too. They not
right.
winning, but yeah, he's doing
And
his
and
thing.
also you got to remember, you got your QB or your wide receiver could miss a pass and they gave up a pick six, or
Right.
they gave up the ball in the red zone and a team runs one play and scores. So defense didn't really even have a chance at positioning themselves. It's sometimes it's really easier to get those one plays down in the red zone.
Hey, you got cut
And
off when you was talking about Bill. Did you want to finish the statement with that?
Yeah, I just want to say that's kind of what I was talking about teams who don't necessarily have the winning record that reflects how well they've been playing. And Cincinnati was going through a struggle period, but he has been pretty consistent as far as tackles, assist at tackles, and his interceptions. So for me, he has just been a pretty consistent safety,
Hmm.
on a team that doesn't get the highlight of having the wins. Because the only other safeties playing better than him are in Minnesota and Buffalo.
we have him, and we talked about defense. We just talked about the 49ers, and none of us really mentioned none of their four secondary people. Derek mentioned the
Ward.
guy that
Yeah,
29.
the safety
29.
with the
Yeah,
hat.
the strong safety win. Then you got Jimmy Ward playing
Got
over
Ward.
there,
Bill.
and then you got C Ward playing for him. So
But I
it's
think for them, it's more about what Derek talked about.
the
It's
front
so
line.
many, and
That's
you
the
got
collective.
Bosa in there, and so we
Mhm.
weren't really ranking,
Right.
the linebackers. And so once you have, which what we've talked about before, right? If you stopping them up front, your safeties and corners just got to stay with their guys
Yeah.
Yeah.
because the ball not making it to them anyway. So or it's your check down. So and if it's the check down, the safety may have played off you, so you only got 3 or 4 yards anyway, and you probably needed 8, so they let you have the 3 or 4, so
Yeah.
they can move on. So
Yeah.
that's interesting too. So when you get a chance, people, go back and look at the stats right now overall for top DB positions, and you'll notice you don't really see anybody from the 49ers when we know they got the best defense. And that really goes to show how when you can make it be spread around like that, and how strong or powerful your front seven can make a difference in your overall defensive scheme.
Right.
You could care
Well,
less.
let's say this too. That's the beauty of the sport that we like, right? So
Yeah.
we often, as fans, jump on either one player or a coach, but it's the collective when everything comes together for a team. Whether it be especially when it's all three phases, but when you just focusing just on defense, when the front end playing with the back end, and and everybody's playing together. It's sometimes I'll be telling, we had this conversation all the time. You're like, what was he doing? I'm like, hey, those are pros on the other side, and them boys was together. You know what I mean? They get checks too. And it's like to see everything come together is dope.
It's funny. I took that one piece of information when I had a conversation with my nephew about a play. It was like a half a second jump too early, and had he just got it a different second, he would have had the interception. But the wide receiver was still able to get the ball. And so he was, joking with me saying, so hey Tasha, you're not gonna get my food now, right? Because I ain't, I didn't get the interception. And I was like, no, because that was a ball on the other side. And sometimes he gonna get the play. And then what happened? The next play, you made the tackle that stop the touchdown from that going on that play. So that's also head focus. You let that play go. Next play up.
Next play.
So
we said next man up.
And I really kind of clicked literally in the stands when it happened. I was like, this is such a Derrick Jones moment. He always talking about it's still other people on the other side. You can't forget, like
too.
Somebody got a ball.
Especially
every great play was a bad play for somebody else.
And going back to that game, Tom Ball tried to jump on y'all, and then DeSoto decided to play. So not decided to play.
Side note, and I know that's not why everybody watching the show, but you brought up a very good point in my nephew's game on Friday night. You could definitely tell that the coach let them know you got your fan base out here in the rain, because it rained from driving all the way to Pflugerville to playing in the rain to driving. It never stopped raining.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
And he basically let them know, like, you got your fans out here in this rain, and you gonna play like this what you gonna play like it was like all of a sudden a new team. I was like, that's when coaching is working, right? Because the kids already got it within them, but who gonna get it out of them sometimes? And we all got a heartfelt message from the coaching staff. Like, they really appreciated our turnout in Pflugerville, because everybody knew it was going to rain and be wet and cold. And obviously, if I sat in Buffalo at 0-40, I'm definitely gonna sit in my nephew's playoff game, and it definitely was more entertaining.
Good thing we didn't go this year, because it snowed the same time. So
I would have still been there. If that was the one I was gonna need.
I mean, it snowed the whole time we was in Green Bay for that game. So hey,
and we knew already we didn't have our top players then. They was hurt. So before we go, Todd brought up a good point about who's leading the league in interceptions, and it's Buffalo. But that makes sense. When you got somebody like Von Miller up front, we talked about you putting that pressure. You're gonna have guys throwing the ball, but
and they just getting Michael Hyde back. So
hey,
so he would have for sure been on my list had he not been hurt.
Yes.
Yeah,
for sure been on my
I
list.
definitely could see that. I'm definitely looking forward to December football. This is where we find out what teams are made of. We get to see people get a little healthier and hope for the best, because I don't even want to say what teams start to look like with injury. So far, most of the injuries we've seen are not things that will keep them out forever. I think the only issue with the lacerated kidney, the last person I remember having that was Luck, and he was out for a while. So, but I think if anything, this is probably a better time to have issues you need to figure out. You got a good 6 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks of football left. 5, and you figure it out. Not 5 playing weeks, but 5 weeks before you would play the playoffs, because we in week 13.
Oh, yeah.
So it'll be right at week 18, and you'll have to figure it out.
Eyes on the prize at this point. So
yeah. So speaking of eyes on the prize, Derrick is running away with this thing right now in the league. It's pretty sure that coach is gonna get the toilet bowl trophy this season again. And I don't know, Gentry, you might not catch my boy on Top Flight. We've been taking some of those off strange picks, and they've been working out. We've been, digging deep. I've been over.
I try to make emotional picks so y'all can try to catch up, but it's just what I do.
Oh,
He took a
It's
dig.
what I do.
We definitely made some emotional picks.
Wow.
But I bet you won't be using them. Well, you even got room now to use a little emotion, but I don't advise it.
That was just that 1 week. That 1 week.
I don't.
Well, I probably got one more with me. I got one more with me. The Packers still got Minnesota one more time. I got at least that one. At least that one. I'm not picking Minnesota over the Packers.
He said I'm not picking Minnesota.
Not over the Packers. No, I pick them.
Well, it's been a great show, and it's time for me to go get ready for Yellowstone all night.
Lord.
That's just keeping it real. Yellowstone. This is crazy because usually I would be so overindulged into sports, and I'm like looking forward to, first of all, absent a few characteristics, I highly relate to Beth.
Don't you?
Oh man, are we gonna talk about this right now?
That's what I was gonna say.
Wait. Hey, okay, I'm gonna end the show, but we're gonna do another show, and we're gonna talk about Yellowstone. And look, those who want to join in on that show, we're gonna start at season 1. So all you season 5.
How many seasons are it?
They in season 5.
They just started
right
5.
now.
They just started 5.
Okay.
But I'm newbies. I'm for you. So I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna put it out there, and we're gonna start from the beginning because I found a bunch of people in my comments today that have not watched it at all or just started. And when I tell you, I was like, it's me.
That Beth is something, man.
Time for me to fire up,
man.
fire stick.
I was like, it is so me.
That Beth, I be like, she too much and not enough, all at the same time.
That is so me. And she's so misunderstood. Oh my gosh.
Hey, that's no. We are.
Okay.
That's childhood trauma, though. That's childhood trauma.
Well,
Gentry, check it out.
She got different own childhood traumas, but I ain't gonna be walking around naked at the ranch. So, but she, like I said, she got a few weird things. But Gentry, it's on Peacock, and Coach, tell everybody where they can find you so I can get back on the ranch.
Yeehaw. Coach B Pat on Twitter and Instagram.
That boy D Jones.
D Jones 9804 on Instagram. That boy D Jones on Twitter. Shout out.
Look, y'all already know where I'm at. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at the Gransberry. Probably gonna make some changes soon. I don't know if I'm gonna make them in December or January, but I'm gonna try to do more law stuff related on the Gransberry page, and I'm gonna move into Fan Snob for more sports related stuff on TikTok. But right now, it's okay if you at the Gransberry, you'll find your way. I got you. You'll get there. But it's gonna be a good time. So you need to make sure you subscribe to me on TikTok and Instagram, because that's where I'm gonna keep most of my content. And the Good Morning Only crew is back. So start your morning with a smile with your girl. I'm gonna be bringing it in there, giving it to you to give you a good laugh and motivation at the same time. And as always, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for engaging us, watching, your comments, suggestions, anything you want to talk about. Let us know. I would say we should rate defenses. I think it's pointless at this point once we done talked about the top positions. I'm gonna think about it and see what we should talk about next week. It's
just know ginger snaps are nasty.
And on that note, that's how you get Brandon out of here. Boom. When you start trying to when you start trying to hate, that's how you see. You better watch your mouth when I got that button. Don't be over here.
Disgusting.
This ain't candy corn season. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. But look, I love y'all, and y'all have a great night. Peace.